See, now this is how the devil works. Because the devil will purposely set you up. Like, seriously set you up. We would call this, in the legal term, entrapment. Where they would, and don't confuse like a police officer hiding behind a bush and you go speeding by and then you try to scream entrapment because you didn't know he was there. That's not entrapment. Entrapment would be when the circumstances built up against you are done in a way that you end up doing something that you wouldn't normally do. So you would normally speed down the highway unless you saw the officer. So you can't scream that's entrapment. But if an officer tells you, I need you to work undercover for me and I need you to sell so-and-so these, illegal items, and you do it, and then they turn around and bust you when they asked you to do it for them as an undercover operation, that would be entrapment. And so that's what they do. They just attack you, and provoke you to wrath. Well, you know what? I got news for you. I'm made in the image of my Father, and He is patient with us, and He is patient with us, and He is patient with us. Just like Jesus Christ, He was patient all the way up into the day that He was up on that cross. Up into the day He was on that cross. He was all about forgiveness and patience. But what does He come back as? He comes back as judgment. What does God come back as after all this patience? Wrath. So these people better be careful, because they think that just because they entice somebody to react, it doesn't mean that they failed. It doesn't mean that they failed. But see, they want to keep you locked into the carnal, let them do whatever they want for the rest of your life. You got to be elevated to this. But let me tell you, this is how the devil works. And I knew they were going to do something, because whenever they take, well, number one, it's Sunday. So taking somebody up to LA from San Diego, or it's Saturday, I'm sorry. So number one, it's Saturday. Taking somebody up to LA on a Saturday, it's going to be smooth sailing going up. That's when you're making your money. But on the way back, that's when everybody is coming from LA and other cities to go down to Mexico for the weekend, or to go to the airports, or, whatever. Just come to San Diego because nobody wants to be in LA, and I hardly blame them. But this is my point. Saturday coming southbound, you're going to get stuck in 2 to 3 hours of traffic. And that's just trying to get into the county of San Diego. You will literally be backed up from 30 miles in bumper to bumper, going nowhere traffic. So it's a nightmare. And the whole while that you're doing that, now your trip back takes 2 to 3 times longer. So you're not getting paid for this. Now, I knew they were not going to find me a ride on the way back, because the little demon that was in my car, they want to start asking you things that's their business. They're busybodies. And she was asking me, so, what do you do once you get up there? Do you, get another ride or whatever? This is basically my signal saying, hey, they plan to mess with you. You're not going to get a tip. You're not going to get a ride back. You're going to get nothing but that $100 to drive up there. So I drive 200 miles, and in total time, we're talking 4 hours of driving. 4 hours of my day for $100. Now, that's not counting what I need for my gas. That's not counting what I need to take out of that for the car for the day, which that alone is $44. So we're not talking about that. So this is how they mess with you. They knew they were going to do this. They plot and plan. They already know what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. And they're doing it to all of us, to where it's just like clockwork. Like the other day when that fire truck blocked me in at the store, I guarantee it, they've done that same move to a bunch of people before me, and they'll do it to a bunch of people after me. They know exactly where they're going to line up their truck. They know exactly where they're going to wait. They know exactly where they're going to send the driver to go stand so that they can tempt you and test you. Now, I did not get provoked to wrath. However, they better be careful. Do not tempt the Lord your God, period. But I stood my ground. So, and let me explain what happened. So they provoke you. They want to get you frustrated and angry in this traffic. So now you're stuck in 2.5 hours of traffic just to get back with no money, okay? It's 80 degrees outside. You got noisy cars that, because nowadays they don't do nothing about these modified mufflers, and they're over the noise limit, and they're These people have no consideration for society around them at all. They disturb society. These people with their loud engines and their loud mufflers and their loud motorcycles, and they are some of the most selfish people out here, because they don't care if they're disrupting their neighborhood at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're coming home late. They don't care when they're driving up and down their street all day long because they ain't got nothing better else to do. They don't care. They don't care about the community around them. They don't care about the contamination of peace. Like all of these people who have a right to just mind their own business in their own homes, and every other minute is just noise, let alone the loud banging music that people play. But I digress. These people do all of this, disturbing the community and society's peace, all to be noticed, all to be gazed upon by other men. Like it's literally for no other reason than look at me. And so, I'm dealing with these kind of people, not just me, other people who are on this road with me, waiting in the same traffic. They're all having to be just subject to this, subject to the noise, subject to the bad driver, subject to all. Well, of course the goal is, one, be mad because I didn't get a tip. I drive her all the way up to LA and then have to come back, and she knows it. She knows it because she would not have made the comment to give me that clue that they intend to not give me anything. Like it was that subliminal message they love to plant. So she knew what she was doing. Plus she was like making her phone stare at me the whole time she walked up to the car. So she was already letting me know that she's part of Satan's army, and that's fine because I give her to God, and she ain't gonna like that for a while, but that's okay. I pray she get through it. However, once I finally do, after all of this, get back into the city, well, now I haven't used the restroom for many, many, many hours. And I am hungry now because it's, afternoon, 1 o'clock. And I'm hungry. I hadn't eaten anything since the day before. So I stop into a restaurant and I go inside, and the guy inside, he messes up my order. I order a specific thing, no special requests, but for whatever reason, he wants to punch it in the machine how he wants to punch it in the machine. So I get my bag, I go to the car, and I realize it's the wrong burger, so I take it inside and I tell them, what's this? And he knew because he instantly takes it back. I said, this isn't what I ordered. He instantly takes it back to get it fixed. And then the management, see, he knew he messed up my order, and he probably did it on purpose, but I digress. The management then looks at me, looks at the order, and looks at what he put down on the order, and she instantly goes into blame the customer mode, as if I ordered that. I didn't order that. So she's taking what he did wrong, not only to me, but costing them money because now they got a burger that they can't sell. So she took that and she put it on me. So here I am taking the blame for something that I didn't even do. Hello, Jesus. They did the same things to Jesus. They did the same thing. So this is how your enemy is going to attack you. And it's going to seem subtle, just a little bit here, a little bit there. But it's that entrapment to try to entice you. They are going to surround you. They are going to get your orders wrong. They are going to make your drinks gross. They've put dirt in my food. I'm pretty sure they've poisoned me and given me diarrhea, and other things. They have drugged my windows. Like I said, they have done all kinds of things, and it's to provoke you. And then once they provoke you through this entrapment, just bombard you like a normal human being is going to be affected by this. So they just bombard you and bombard you and bombard you. But I'm going to tell you this. This is a thing that God is perfecting in us and how we react. And so I'm trying to tell you early that don't react to it as best you can. The Bible says how, be at peace with something along the, I'm sorry, I don't have the verse up, but something along the lines of as much as possible be at peace with everyone. You'll notice it says as much as possible. So we are not expected to be these perfect little doves. You know, that's what we need God for. That's what Jesus is for. That's what all of that for. But when you feel like it's starting to get a rise out of you, just do like Jesus. Do not tempt the Lord your God. And this has two meanings, because not only does it have a meaning where Jesus is telling Satan, don't tempt God. You know, you're messing with his anointed. You're messing with his chosen. You're messing with the plan he has for mankind. But not only that, and that goes for us too, because we all have things that we need to do as we get elevated to these positions, and God shows us what it is we're supposed to do in his kingdom. But the other part is you're reminding yourself, don't tempt the Lord your God. So while it's true that you're telling Satan, hey, get off my back, don't tempt God, because everything they do to me, they are heaping up judgment for themselves. They are heaping up judgment. Their books are being opened, account is being made, and for many of them, their names are being blotted out, and of course, they're none the wiser. So, I say this so that you have that escape when they're doing this to you. So, they did not succeed. Did I go back in there? And when once she tried to blame me, and I said I didn't order it any different way, then he tried to be like, oh, you didn't order it special, or, you know, he tried to cover his own butt is what he did. He messed up, and then was still, even when he got caught and I spoke the truth, he still wanted to be like one last final, are you sure, to save his own butt? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I didn't order anything special, so I don't know why it says it. But I digress. So I was firm. I'm going to be firm, because I'm not a little kicking box anymore. The Lord has strengthened me. And, you know, this is just their final hurrah. They are making every last attempt. I told you just yesterday of the vision I had. And that's that big. Satan has but a short time. And even in our lifetime, if you consider from the moment we rise in birth to the moment we lay down in death, it's a short time. Even if we get 100 years, it's a short time. Especially when you compare it to eternity. But I digress. I just wanted to put this out there to show you this is how the devil operates. It may not, it's going to come, so many things that are going to rise against you are going to come as just subtle temptations that just non-stop just want to tempt you and test you. They failed. I took everything that they did to me for the good, because some of that ride is a coastal ride. So I get to look at the, you know, that whole being stuck in traffic. I get to pray for the people. I get to look at my surroundings at a slower pace for a change. You know, this is what I got out of traffic. I got to talk to God some more. I got to, again, we're stuck in traffic. There are all these people around me for miles that need prayer. So here I am. Some of them just need to be cast up in some chains and their temples to be destroyed. These false prophets and teachers they follow, so that only righteousness will remain and God will bless them with his wisdom. But I digress on that too. I'm just saying, so they failed. They failed at making me miserable. As far as the money goes, they totally screwed me financially today. But they've been doing it, and they've been doing it. They've been doing it for years. And you know what? I give it to God. I do. I give it to God, and I gave all of this to God. Even the man in the store, the restaurant chain. I don't want to say their name because I don't want all of them to get a negative opinion because of what these two people did. But, you know, and so if I ever show anything that is connected to some kind of company because I'm in the store or around the store, it has nothing to do with them. It's these individual people who are guilty. And that's what these two, I mean, I may not have gone off and made a scene and made an idiot of myself. What good would that do? But I was firm and stood by my ground. No, I did not order it that way. And I won't be accused of doing something that I didn't do either. But the bottom line is they're going to have their day before God when they're being judged for every little thing they do. It literally tells us all of us are going to be judged. All of us, including those people who think they're God's saints, and including those people who think they do God's service. But, I'm having these visions. I've had several of them in my walk with the Lord. Some of them are what actually called me out of the church. I did talk about them when I first started this page, but then as I moved on in knowledge and strength, the lessons have changed, and I have also matured with that. So I don't have those videos up anymore, but I had a lot of visions in the church when God was calling me out. So they see it. They left me alone for a couple days, and then God showed me this vision in that silence. And now that I shared it yesterday, of course they're attacking my income today and trying to tempt me and snare me, because this is, like I said, Goliath is on his back, and they're just gonna try. They're desperate. Whether they physically call together and talk behind my back and physically rise against me all as one, hey Bob, we're gonna go do that thing to Jody today, whatever the case may be, or whether it's just a random timing thing that I'm in the right place at the right time where somebody's doing the same thing, it is still the same army when I say they are rising and plotting and planning against me, because they all have the same God of their belly. It don't matter what name they give it, what secret society, what church, what denomination. It doesn't matter if they are an atheist. It doesn't matter if they consider them a Satanist. It doesn't matter what they are. Because if it's not God, it's only the other one. Period. No matter what name they give it. And you have got probably a million ways out there to be deceived into it. And many of them use the name of Jesus. So you got to be really, really careful. But this is just kind of a warning that these little attacks are so subtle, and it just seems like normal everyday thing. But it is an attack on you. And if they can get the result they want out of it, then it gives them leeway to continue to cause you frustration. And the more frustration, it just adds more sorrow to yourself the more you react in a negative way. And I'm trying to help you stay out of that sorrow, that added sorrow that you don't need. So God bless you. Be strong, be wise, and always, always, always be in prayer.